Hello and welcome to the Moinescape podcast. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell, as we go through a 12-game pre-Christmas NHL DFS slate here on Tuesday, December 23rd. Quick note, slate starts at 6:30 Eastern, 30 minutes earlier than normal, so don't be caught sleeping. DJ, how are you? Oh, we got to do the intro. It's time for the intro.
You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.
There we go. We did the intro. DJ, how you doing?
I've been better. Got the flu right now, so this will be a flu cast for me. But we're gonna battle through. I feel really mainly fine, but sadly not 100% today. But we're gonna battle through. Probably just less of me talking, so probably the best show of the year.
I literally, we talked on the phone like a bit earlier and I didn't hear, and then literally as you said, I like, that you announced that you were sick was the first time I had heard you sound like you were sick. So a very good job of saving it.
I've been like using saline solution all like as I've been home to like clean up my nostrils, and I just did it a little bit ago, and I swear it's just like instant congestion again. So you must have caught me at a good interval. Yeah, I really don't feel too bad, but alas, here we are, not feeling great right before the holidays. More time to get ready to win money on Tuesday, though.
12 games. So I do suggest that we head right on into things. I have the rainbow sheet up and prepared for the great people of this show. If you are listening on the podcast feed, there are visuals over on DJ's YouTube channel at NHL DJ on YouTube. Or if you get in the Discord, that'll be posted about an hour before the slate starts. So you can also see this. It's all free. Just DM us if you want in on Discord. I bit my tongue while I was saying that. So you're sick, and now my tongue hurts, and I'm probably going to bite it again while I'm talking. And I don't know how I bit it while talking. But anyway, let's...
myself.
like, off to a great start here.
Yeah. So I'll try to do my best to get through the very much anticipated overview. I will not have as many thrills as last time. There are no birthdays of active players, so that is a tough start. I'm just going to go in order of what you have here. I think that's the order of the DraftKings slate, or close to it. It's Dallas and Detroit. I don't really have a lot to say about this one. There's probably
Mike Modano.
There you go, Mike Modano, revenge narrative. He really did a lot of wonders in Detroit after leaving Dallas. Montreal, Boston. This is the game that will be played. This is a game that I will be interested in. This will be a game that features the revenge narrative of Matt. Go.
Don Cherry? He coached Boston. I associate him with Montreal. That's probably not right.
Yeah, I can't believe I really thought this would be like an obvious one that would just come to my brain. But I mean, like, I'm trying to think of a current player, and I'm just not coming up with any current players. So I guess leave it in the chat, leave it in the comments if you can think of anyone current. I don't think there is one, so it's probably gonna have to be an older player. We move forward. We have Florida and Carolina. Florida, Carolina in the one team can never win an Eastern Conference Final Bowl. Versus the other one. It's going to be a good one. There's injuries to get to here, important ones that have changed the very fabric and thus led to cover boys being implemented. So a lot to cover in that one, but it looks about what you'd expect. Carolina is very good defensively, but the injuries could change things, and Florida's been still kind of somewhat leaky defensively, but getting better. We move to the return of Jack Hughes against Buffalo, where, of course, he lost because the Sabres are never going to lose again. Playing the New York Islanders, who have kind of started to take a turn for the worse, including a loss to the Sabres, which is very normal for most all teams. These days, that's what everyone does. Matt, you have any revenge narratives here you want to get off your chest?
Oh, man. I was not thinking of revenge narratives. I was thinking of the Buffalo Sabres and all the great things that we think of them for the next 24 hours before they, of course,
Inevitably,
lose. Yeah.
yeah, break my soul.
I mean, Kyle Palm, well, he's hurt. So
Mm.
Kyle Palmieri, sure.
He can still be mad from the stands. I agree. Buffalo and Ottawa with a Josh Norris Dylan Cousins Bowl. Have we seen them both play at the same time? Maybe. I don't know.
That's probably not. I mean, Norris
You would
played
think
like
no.
3
Yeah,
games.
but he played a few at the end of last year. But yeah, Buffalo, Ottawa, the guy in the Sabres, never going to lose. I was actually, it's funny because I feel like the perception of Ottawa is still they're not very good. And I was talking at work, like, this is actually a pretty freaking like good Ottawa team lately. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
They've like free fallen out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, but I feel like they've played good and they still lose. Like, I don't really get it.
Well,
Like, I watch
okay,
Ottawa
Zach
play.
Werenski.
I'm like, this team looks pretty good, and then they lose. I don't know.
Yeah, they've won 4 in a row. So what do I know? But yeah,
Yeah.
they were in a playoff spot and now they're not. So whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Buffalo 2 points back, so big win for them upcoming. The Rangers versus the Capitals.
Definitely a Taylor Radish. How about that one?
Radish. That is exactly what we're looking for on this show. I'd like it to be a Taylor Radish bowl as well. My brain is working at about 7% capacity comparatively to its normal 9, so I'm not going to probably be too quick on my feet here tonight. I like that one though. That's perfect.
Great.
I mean, Nashville, Minnesota, the first name that comes to mind, of course, Ryan Suter, but I'm guessing there's probably someone. What about
Ryan Suter's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nyquist, but Nyquist isn't on either team anymore, right?
That is true. Yes.
So
he is in
that doesn't
Winnipeg.
work. He's in Winnipeg now. That was gonna say no. It's a random fucking nerd ass team, and there it is. I mean, really, it's just the Minnesota, the wagon. The wagon.
Yakov Trenin. Big time revenge.
Now you're thinking that's a very recent one. Finally, we have something good to use.
Eric Howla. Ryan Hartman definitely, right?
Yeah, Hartman too.
Holy
a lot
shit.
of revenge narratives here.
This game is loaded.
All right, so game stack confirmed. It actually does show up pretty well with the Corsi pace and stuff. So this is an interesting one to get into. A game that doesn't show up very well for pace is the Philadelphia Flyers and Chicago Blackhawks in a who fucking cares? These teams suck bowl.
I feel like this is also a Ryan Hartman revenge game. Is that true? He played for both these teams?
That could be. I think that could be.
Okay.
I can't think of every team Ryan Hartman's played for, but he's definitely played for some of these teams. Yeah, no, that sounds right. I'm not sure if anyone else is coming to mind instantly, but there's probably some terrible, like,
there's old-timey, like older goalies. I can I'm almost certain, but I don't know. On the active roster, if there's anyone.
I don't think Soderblom ever played for Philly. No. They should make a trade before the game. I want a little bit more going on here in this boring matchup. Then we have Utah, Colorado. Well, I guess if you literally just think of Utah as Utah, it's going to be really hard to think of a revenge narrative. So let's not even try. I mean, Colorado, the best team in the league for Utah, who is a team in the league. That'll be interesting.
Ian Cole play for Colorado?
Probably. He played for every team in the league, I think. So Colorado's probably made a stop. Calgary and Edmonton, the Battle of Alberta. Matt's favorite team versus Matt's second favorite team, I believe, are the two in order. Yeah, the Flames, are they, dare I say, back? We'll find out when we get to them. And Matt says no. Seattle and LA at a true both team back-to-back. Is that the only one?
Yes.
Both team back-to-back. I'm getting too tired of these revenge narratives, so I'm just going to quit.
It's not obvious.
Finally. Wait, what?
I said it's not obvious. That
Martin Jones Bowl.
Yeah.
There you go. And finally, the San Jose Sharks will battle the Vegas Golden Knights in a, remember that time where who murdered who again? Um,
Well, it was
Logan Couture
Pavelski.
got murdered. Pavelski.
Yeah, but the hurdle narrative, sir.
The hurdle narrative is the correct answer for the bowl, but I was going to talk about that one game again. That was one of the craziest games, and I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
So, with all
Someone
that out of the way,
yeah, whatever.
was it Couture or was it Pavelski?
It was.
You're
It
saying it's
was.
Pavelski.
I'm almost
Pavelski got.
positive it was Pavelski.
Why
High
did I think it
stuck.
was
High
Couture?
sticked. High stuck.
Yeah. Huh. You might be right. I could be wrong.
Cody
But
Eakin.
okay, that sounds right.
Yeah.
It was Pavelski from Eakin hit Pavelski. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say Couture, but my brain doesn't work anymore. I'm just gonna say this slate is a big one. It is a good one. There are some good games. There are some bad games. We're gonna talk about every single one of the games.
Merry Christmas, Bates. I hope Sisima gets a giant L courtesy of me on Tuesday. That is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, he will. I'm sure.
TJ sounds very confident. Yeah, I mean, you look across the rainbow chart, and there's only a couple games that really stand out as poor games, and I think they would be kind of obvious. Maybe this Islanders New Jersey shouldn't be, just with all the new players back and whatnot, but like Hughes, Gritsuk, I think one other guy returned to the lineup as well. Like, they're more fun than the average New Jersey team. So over the last 10 games, they've sort of hunkered down by necessity, I think. But in any case, that game doesn't profile too well, nor does Philly Chicago. And that one is certainly no surprise there. By actual goals, kind of the same story, except Washington, Rangers, and Nashville, Minnesota and Seattle, LA also enter the fray as being kind of bad. Otherwise, we've got a decent number of really solid games. I think only what two teams? No, Vegas is going to be a monster favorite too. So we've got three teams of really high team totals. So that is something to look out for. But let's get through the game by game here. Starting off with Dallas at Detroit, as I mentioned off the top. This is a 6:30 start, so the slate locks at 6:30. Make sure you enter your contest. Make sure you check for overlay, etc., etc. Dallas last game went well. They did a bunch of everything, but mostly Duchesne, Johnson, Rantanen, Robertson, Hintz, Bork. No Jamie Benn on this line. It's Steele and Ben sort of mixed in the top six, but Steele, Ritzkovian, Ben, Beck, Faxa, Blackwell. Defensively, they're also healthy. Lindell, Miro, Harley, Lundqvist, Labushkin, Petrovic. I've written a bit about Thomas Harley, like in the Friday newsletter, and he immediately came out and I think got the blocks bonus and a point, or he had like 7 blocks and a point or something. So I just wanted to mention that since Harley's been back, he hasn't really been more impactful than before he got hurt. And if you recall, like early season, he was one of the worst players in the league as far as on ice, like shot attempt share and expected goal share. And that's not going well so far for Harley, which definitely sucks. You would hope that the injury and coming back, he would just look better. And that's not really the case. So I'm pretty worried about that. He's a bit piece DFS wise because he's second power play and the top power play is going ape shit. So it doesn't really matter, but it does really make me question this matchup for Dallas. So DJ, what are your thoughts on Dallas, and could you possibly bring yourself to play no one not on the top power play here?
I mean, I think it's in the range of outcomes to click the button on Thomas Harley and bet on the upside, but it's not a comfortable click. I mean, there's a part of me that really likes playing against Detroit. Like, I think that they're a bit worse defensively, and when the goaltending isn't backstopping them, they can give up quite a few. This feels like a matchup that you could exploit that, but the prices continue to rise. And playing Russian roulette with which one of these sort of one-off fringe pieces is going to be the punt you needed is a game I don't think I'm going to be playing on Tuesday. So I think it's an interesting stack, but how do you like? I run into the scenario where I'm like, well, how am I leaving off Jason Robertson? You kind of can at this point, in my opinion. So then what? All right, Hints, yeah. right? He's sort of been the least impactful of the bunch as far as the power play is concerned, and as much of a distributor. So okay, you're gonna throw in Rantanen, like all of a sudden your cap is gone. You're not getting a lot of shot volume upside. Like I think I'm just gonna end up sitting this one out, but I don't think it's a bad play. I don't think I
Yeah.
have the gumption to get it in there.
Yeah, it's pretty telling of where this Stars team is at the moment, and they're a really good team still. It's not like they're, terrible, but they're really relying on efficiency, and they're so talented that that works. But I mean, we're seeing tonight, like Tampa St. Louis, it's a 4-1 game in Tampa's favor, and basically no one's getting there outside of Radish with a 3-point bonus because, like, yeah, Kucherov has 2 points, but he has 1 shot. Like, you just need the shot volume in DFS to really sustain it. Gensel, same deal. Like 11 points doesn't cut it for these prices, kind of like you're saying. So you really need like a 3-point night or a shots bonus. And it's telling that literally the only player on this team with a shot rate like even equal to that of last year's version of the same player is Jason Robertson. And obviously Robertson's doing just about everything he can to put the team on his back and has mostly succeeded in doing so. He's cooled down a little bit over the last 10, 15-ish games. But that's still one of the league's best players the way he's been playing. But like everyone else they went from, a relatively high shot rate to a lower one this year. And that's just across the board. And that makes me worry. It's not like we're seeing anything in the matchup that's like, yeah, Dallas is in a huge volume spot or anything like that. So I think I'm pretty much out here. Maverick Bork makes Dallas 2 a little bit interesting. He's only 300 less than Jamie Benn, but he probably has more juice than Jamie Benn. He's not been great this year though, so you're kind of just betting on like AHL talent, that kind of deal, because we haven't seen him be a impactful fantasy guy at the NHL level yet.
I
Anything
will
else?
tell Jamie Ben you said that next time I see him that you don't think he has the juice.
Okay. Detroit. Detroit this weekend. I went to the Saturday game for their lineup. On Sunday, there was a quote how they basically like scratched Marco Casper and I think someone else because they wanted the moms to see their kids play, basically, because there was the mom strip. So they did a back-to-back, and basically 2 guys flipped on Sunday. I'm guessing they go back to Casper on the third line, and again, someone else, but relatively minor pieces because Finney, Larkin, Raymond, DeBrincat, Kopp, John Leonard is the top 6 here. John Leonard has stepped in and been very good. He's 2,700. He's not Patrick Kane, but like that role is nice. He's on the second power play. I think Leonard is one of the top value punts at just 2,700. We know that Dallas will allow volume against them. So taking one-offs is certainly viable in that, like, yeah, you're probably not getting a 4, 5, 6 goal explosion from Detroit here, but you could get 30 shots and 3 goals. You could get 30 shots and 2 goals. And for a punt like this in the top 6, I don't have any problem with that. But everyone is just about fine. DeBrincat maybe slightly better than fine. But DJ, any takes on Detroit here?
Yeah, it is sort of this like on paper, I can see it, right? Like there should be decent chance for volume, especially if Dallas can get there efficiently early and maybe not push the gas too hard. But at the end of the day, like on a 12-game slate, am I really gonna stack against Dallas? Like that's what I'm gonna have. Like, do I actually have the nerve? I don't think so. It's really because DeBrincat's 8K. And I just don't even I get what you're saying. Like, well, you're stacking with them cheap players. Yeah, cheap players that are not, well, I mean, one of them is kind of NHL quality, and one of them was not in the NHL to start the year. So I think I probably end up sitting this one out. And I'll let Braver give it a go. I hope it works for them. Be a cool slate if 2% Detroit won it. But yeah, not
I mean,
it just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, Sham says as a Wings fan, I feel like Dallas is going to smother them. I mean, like it just feels like they haven't done that to anyone this year. Like, I mean, that Toronto Dallas game, it was 5-1, but Toronto like outshot them by a considerable margin. I'm pretty sure. They won the expected goals battle. Like teams constantly win the expected goal stuff against Dallas, so shot volume will come. They're maybe permissive in a creative way, like the Minnesota Wild of years past, where like they're just inflating their goalie save percentage or something like that. There could be something like that. But at the same time, like that's sort of why these punt guys who we know are shot first players do stand out to me, because like they will be able to get those looks off. And yeah, they don't need to score to pay off their price tag like a DeBrincat does.
Yeah.
So that's that. JVR is top power play. He's been pretty solid for 3,100, 10.5 expected fantasy points in 9 actual last 10 games. I'm doubting you're finding much better than that. This fourth line is kind of that in name only. I mean, they basically have, I mean, it's a little rude to say to brink at the fourth line, but they kind of have like they kind of have 3 third lines right now, you know, with Lark and Raymond, of course, being the top line. So JVR's minutes shouldn't be terrible for a fourth liner, but yeah, again, not a huge spot of interest for points and goals or whatnot. Montreal at Boston. Montreal going Bolduc, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov, Texay, Valeno, Anderson. I'm guessing Phil Deneau debuts, and he takes Sammy Blaze spot in the lineup with Beck and Gallagher. Check in on that. I can't imagine anyone's playing Montreal 4 anyway. But DJ, what are your thoughts on Montreal? What's up?
I thought they sent Sammy way down. So
well, yeah, that's why I moved him out of the lineup.
Yeah, I'm saying like I think you're unequivocally correct, as you would like to say.
Yeah, I just don't know where exactly. Like he could go to the first line for all I know, you know.
Interesting, very interesting. I like the Montreal side. I really do. I really don't respect Boston a ton defensively. I'm not sure if it's a favorite player on the slate, but as they've started to have a higher propensity to shoot, I've wanted to follow. I mean, it's kind of like a flip of beginning of the year to now, when the expected points were never reaching, like the actuals were so much higher than they expected for this top line, and the price continued to soar, and now it's reversed. And they really haven't been bad as far as fantasy output, but the price has fallen. Like I don't mind taking a look here and maybe jumping in on Montreal. I'm not sure if it's a favorite of mine, but it's not. I'm not sleeping on it. Not sure what they're going to do exactly, but I don't mind going to, obviously Caulfield, Suzuki, and really any of the pieces around it, like Slavkovsky, Demidov, Bolduc, Lane Hudson, like any of those 3. I think I could find myself trying to play.
Yeah, the prices do seem to be on the rise. This second line, 13.7K. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they were like a 12K line last week. And, you know, Zach Bolduc, he hasn't done much for 3,800. He had that 2-goal game though. So, you know, at least he showed it for a single game. That was nice. But, you know, nothing overwhelming in anything we're seeing here. With Mike Matheson back, I mean, I don't know. It's fine. Like Dobson is 5.1K, averaging basically like 10 points a game. You know, that'll cut it if he puts up 10. You know, he's threatening the bonus and whatnot, like whichever bonus he threatens. He could pay off at that tag. But yeah, Lane Hudson, the only guy outperforming his expecteds on this team, which is pretty funny. I don't know how he does it, but
he's got back-to-back box bonuses. I found that odd.
That would be why he's outperforming his expected, I'm sure, because
not something he's done much. I did notice that though, that he's been blocking the puck a bit more. I mean, he has a few blocks bonuses on the year. It's not impervious.
He was 6% below the league average shot rate last year as a rookie. This year he's 4% above. You know, it's nothing huge, but that 10% ish swing. That's nice. We do love to see that, and his point rate is up over last year too. So he does seem to be taking, you know, a leap, especially for fantasy purposes. You know, I'm not following his on ice defensive metrics closely, but he's pretty good. I can't say he's not pretty good. So I would stack him if you want with Suzuki, Caulfield, or Slavkovsky, Demidov, whatever. I don't care. I'm not super interested in this game. I know you said you kind of were. There's some green here as far as the rainbow sheet's concerned. Nothing overwhelmingly bad as far as the actual goals are concerned. So I get it. Boston, are you ready to move over to them?
Yeah.
Boston here. I think so. So they're coming off of a throttling at the hands of Ottawa, 6-2. They were goalied in the first period and just dead after that. So Middlestat, Zaka, Pasta, Steve's, Lindholm, Geeky is, I believe, how they closed the game. I think they opened it differently. Janot, Minton, Kastelich, Isimont, Corelli, Nadinov. That leaves Zaka, Pasta, Lindholm, Geeky as the two pairings, making up their top power play. And Alex Steves and Casey Middlestat are typical just like guys in the top 6 here. So I think you could make this a power play stack if you wanted to. But I got to say, I'm not overly interested in this spot at all. So, DJ, what are your thoughts on Boston?
Much more interested in the Montreal side. Boston has weirdly come up in price a lot. I mean, like McAvoy was like what 40. What was he? 4,200 like a week ago. He's up to 49 now. I'm not saying that's overpriced really, but just tough to want to like pay for him and Pasternak in that lineup. I think Montreal is better defensively than they've let on as they've had some injuries, but and to know I do think he's a factor. Like he's better than Sammy Blais. So yeah, I'm probably just out on Boston. I don't really think that's where I'll be going on a 12-game slate. But Pasternak has been good. Everyone around him gets, lifted by his play. So if you're playing Boston, it's just Pasternak plus another piece like Zaka or whatever.
Yeah, or Morgan Geeky, 600, just absolutely owning the fools out here in the streets.
Each and every day. Remember when it was like, do I draft Geeky or Ryan Donato in the last round of Best Puck? And it was
my God,
they're both good.
I memory hold that so hard. Oh my God, hold on. We're doing this live.
Yeah, let's do it live.
Oh my God, I think. Okay, I have 9% Geeky and 15% Donato, so not as bad as I thought, honestly.
I don't know if it's going to be as bad as I thought, but I'm gonna look while we can transition.
All right, Florida, Carolina,
12% Geeky, 7% Donato. Wow. He's DJ, sharper than he leads on.
Yeah.
All right, GA. Fuck you. 24% Geeky. Get a life. What, do you only draft 5 teams? That would really make sense. But
yeah,
let's talk Panthers.
For Florida, they did lose to the Blues last time we saw them, and I couldn't find lines anywhere. So take that for what it's worth. But Luosterainen, Lindell, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Marchand is how they've been operating for the past few weeks. Boakfist, Erod, Greer, Mackie Samoskevich was injured. Also, I didn't look for anything on him in all honesty, but I don't think there was anything because I went through their beats timeline and there's absolutely nothing. Yeah, I don't think there's a ton here that's surprising. This top line is a discount over the second line, 15.8K for the top line, 17.9K for the second line, but they're playing on the road in Carolina. Friday, I think it was, when Sam Bennett had 10 shots on goal. That was a fun time. I had to do the write-up for my newsletter, moods.bf.com, where I preview some Friday slates and here and there, bits and bobs here and there around the league. On my newsletter, I was like, yeah, this isn't October. Like, Carolina's pretty good now. They're healthy. And they're like, what if we were bad and then all got hurt again? And that was kind of like, okay. And here we are. Carolina without Seth Jarvis, without Jacob Slavin, both week to week with injuries. Not great. So Verhaeghe, Bennett, Marchand, we go right back to that. Well, they basically were throttling back into the game. They were down 3-0, and I think just went apeshit in the second half of the game against Carolina on Friday. So they're back to sort of, maybe have a better start to the game here. But all that to say, we just saw it from these guys. They did handle Carolina pretty well at what I thought was higher strength. So now that they're weaker strength, maybe they do it again. I don't know. Any interest from you, or just I don't know how to transition off of that.
No. I mean, I think there's a lot of merit to playing Florida. Like this feels very competitively priced. I still will every time we talk about Florida and like, oh, play them to not play them. Like I don't think they're going to be overly popular. I think some people might take a second peek at these expected and actuals and maybe give Sam Bennett a second look after that 10 shot on goal game. But like I'm always playing Sam Reinhart with Florida. Like I don't care what it comes down to. Like if I'm playing Florida and I don't have Sam Reinhart in, I've done it wrong. He is just like if they're getting there, it feels like he's going to have 3 points. He is just ultra involved in all the offensive success, and he's been shooting a lot as well. So I really like probably just going for man. I don't really like. I feel bad because Seth Jones feels like a decent value, and then at some point you're like, well, I'm playing fucking 5-man Florida stack against Carolina. That also feels uh, eh, not great. So I don't know. I don't know how I build it exactly, but I don't hate Florida tomorrow, which is better than I expected.
Yeah. Seth Jones, 4,400. It's cheap if you wind up playing them. Um, let's move to Carolina, though. A bit more interesting. Ehlers, Aho, Blake is how they practice. They split up Aho and Svechnikov. Svechnikov, Jordan Stahl, Logan Stankoven. So we get the Stahl Svechnikov thing, which is not super uncommon. But now we get it with Logan Stankoven, which is really interesting. They sort of are stopping their 2C experiment with Stankoven. Hall, Kotkaniemi, Robinson, Nadeau, Jankowski, and I think Will Carrier. But he's hurt. Like it's Carrier, Martinuk, and Jarvis, I believe, who are all injured, and none of them practiced or anything. So I don't like they just had an open spot. I don't think they're going 11-7 because I don't think they have 7 defensemen healthy either. So we'll see what they do lineup wise. If they go 11-7, that makes the Stahl Svechnikov mini stack even more interesting. Is their power play correlated? Kind of. But Ehlers, alongside Aho and Blake, is the sort of guy who's going to replace Jordan Stahl, 30 seconds into a power play once the puck gets cleared. So we're looking at 5,500 Nick Ehlers. They're dominant shot alpha on this line, and he's going to play 75% of the power play time, let's call it, to Aho's, 60, 65%. Like, yeah, he's not going to get the first crack at it because that'll be Jordan Stahl's time. But, like, Ehlers is pretty interesting with that in mind. It's just an upgrade all around, I think. Like, I like Stankoven. I like Jackson Blake's now up with him with Aho, but, like, I think Aho is a huge upgrade at the center position. So, Ehlers, Jordan Stahl are 2 very interesting pieces here. And don't forget Stankoven either. He's been playing center. He's not super familiar with the center position in the NHL. Playing on the wing, he was incredible the past I think 2 seasons between Dallas and also his stint in Carolina playing the wing. He did really well alongside Jordan Stahl. So yeah, his shot rate's down, year over year. His point rate's down, but he's in a bit better of a situation now than he has been for the better part of this year as he sort of tried to learn the center position on the fly. So I think I'm pretty interested in Carolina here, which are some famous last words.
Yeah, it is funny that we're like, well, we couldn't have possibly played the perfectly correlated Jarvis Aho Svechnikov, and now it's like, well, it's kind of perfectly correlated Ehlers Aho Blake, or very weirdly correlated Svechnikov Stahl Stankoven, and that we want to ape in, but it's reduced pricing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
something I wrote that I couldn't really believe when I looked at it. It was like Seth Jarvis in 27 games had like 3 above 20 DraftKings points, and he was 7K throughout. Like, so it was real tough sledding for him.
Yeah, who is doing the shooting lately for Carolina? Let's look. Sean Walker. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe don't look into that actually.
Okay. Because like every game you're like, oh, they shot the puck a lot, and then it's like, huh? Like, all right, can I ask? Do you? I mean, remember? But I'm old enough to remember there was a time we were like, can't wait to play Sean Walker and Keandre Miller tonight. I mean, any interest in ancillary Carolina defensemen surrounding?
Yeah, I just clicked on their timeline again, and I noticed that it says they called up Joel Nystrom, so they might go 11-7, which would be pretty,
Yeah, that might.
pretty difficult for that option, just because, like, yeah, no Slavin again. It would mean, yeah, we're back to normal, but 7 defensemen's always sort of tough to overcome. So Just keep that in mind. I'm not saying you can't do it. Like they're gonna prioritize Walker's minutes, especially. But yeah, I'm not like thrilled by the prospect. Ugh.
Perfect. Makes the forwards a little better. I like the game in general. I mean, could you even consider a game stack like you're saying? Florida shot so many pucks when they were trailing. Could you play a mini stack like you mentioned and go the other way? Like interesting ways to build. I like
Yeah,
it. We can move
yeah,
on
you
unless
can
you want
always
to
play a game
comment on
stack.
it.
I
Yeah.
don't think there's ever a bad time for a game stack.
Okay. Perfect. The
Especially on these
holiday
big
season.
slates, because remember, the big slates spread out ownership. That means that the had to have it pieces will be lower owned. Meaning, if you just get a clump of points, if you just say, yeah, this game goes for a bunch of goals and you get 4 dudes who hit 25 points somehow, a guy getting 5 points doesn't hurt you near as much because the field's not playing the guys that you have 25 points from, just as a general rule. So, the larger a slate is, I think the more viable those sorts of builds are. And I mean, just study Matt's lineups. Noel 0032 in the lobby, like he does something like that almost every slate. At least one or two of his lineups, he'll pick his favorite game and just sort of stack it with players that all make sense, and that's just like his bet on the slate.
That's how he wins.
Believe it or not, it is possible to win at this stupid game.
Wouldn't know it. New
All
Jersey
right.
and the Islanders. The return of Jack Hughes thwarted by the great Buffalo Sabres. Matt,
I mean, what else is there to say? You said it all.
all there is to
Uh,
say.
New Jersey started with Bratt, Heischer, Timo, Gritzuk, Hughes, Mercer, Palat, Glass, Brown. I would not be surprised to see Gritzuk and Bratt switch to make it Bratt, Hughes, Mercer, and Gritzuk, Heischer, Meyer. That's a $2,500 difference for what has effectively been the same DFS player this year. Bratt has a longer track record of being a quality NHL player, but like he's been terrible from a fantasy standpoint. So I don't know how much there is there. Heischer's not been very good either, though. So it's like I don't know. I don't have any interest in New Jersey myself. They're all
You
pretty
know,
expensive for what I think of them.
do you know how many shot attempts Timo Meyer had in his first game back after his absence?
7. I don't know.
13 attempts, 7 on goal.
Cool. I mean, that's Timo. He's with Jack Hughes, though, he's not on the top power play. So it's like on a 12-game slate, are you betting on a power play 2 guy that's 6,200 on the road?
But
Yeah,
that would depend on if you click the button or not, because he's going to be one of the rare $6,200 players that fits all that. Actually, the only one. So
that is true.
at
The
the
only
wing
one.
position, that is power play 2 at 6,200 tomorrow. So, okay, yeah, that's up to you. Really,
Tough beat.
I don't think I have all that much else to add.
Nason was on the top power play. He's 3K on the fourth line, though. And Luke Hughes was the power play defenseman here. Yeah, I think Luke Hughes is pretty ass. So I'm not clicking on him, even if his price falls a bit further. Because he always seems to get interest, especially when Jack's playing. Because did you know they're brothers? That's so cool.
That couldn't possibly be true.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything well.
I would have heard about that.
True.
Yeah, Islanders.
One thing that does make New Jersey a bit more interesting. No Sorokin, dealing with an injury, so he's going to sit for this one and try to heal up over the holiday break. Doesn't sound like anything serious, but Sorokin's probably been the league's best goalie this year, and it's Rittich and net. So there you go. Lee, Barzell, Holmstrom is how they practiced. Yeah, they skated practice. Druin, Pajot, Heineman, Duclair, Richie, Shabanov. I had to guess on the power play, so I just went with last game where it was Barzell, Druin, Heineman, Schaefer, Cal Ritchie. It almost strikes me though as like, you know what? I don't know. This I guess could be right. Heineman on that unit instead of Shabanov is interesting because it was Siplikov last game who basically just stepped in for Shabanov. It was a healthy scratch, kind of. I think also like a KHL adjustment period thing. I wasn't super worried about that from Shabanov's standpoint, but if Cal Ritchie's on the top power play, we know Patrick Waugh loves Cal Ritchie, so I'm not super interested. And Heineman not playing with Barzell at 5-on-5, it just kind of makes everything really gross from a DFS perspective. So it's like Matt Barzell or nothing for me. And at 5,900, I'm not a huge Barzell guy. Ironically, his expected fantasy points and his actual fantasy points exactly match 10.46 over the last 10 games. So that's really cool. Shout out to Matt Barzell for making me smile with that little quirk.
Emil Heineman had 10 shots on goal. I was there on Saturday watching it. And I just, at one point, I was like, I look like Heineman again. And then I pulled up on my phone and he had 10 shots on goal after that goal.
Yeah, Horvat is doubtful, but not ruled out. Okay. I mean, yeah, keep an eye on it. News is fun on these big slates because no one's paying attention, especially with the holidays and whatnot.
I tend to not want to play this game as well, in a similar vein that you have. So I'm okay to move on to the, really the jewels of the Atlantic, in my opinion, Buffalo and all.
Jesus Christ. The Buffalo Sabres, Krebs, Tage, Doan, Osland, Norris, Tuck, Quinn, McLeod, Benson. None of it's power play correlated. Just all of it's the best hockey players on planet Earth.
Yep.
Until they lose. I don't know.
Don't remember happening.
What are you doing here if you were trying to be a homer and stacking the Sabres on the road in Ottawa?
Gotta be honest, even if I really try to put out, and if you're not watching on YouTube, I am wearing a Buffalo Sabres Christmas sweater and Sabres hat right now. So I'm trying my best to be a homer, and even I am struggling to find a way to want to giga jam the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to play the Sabres tomorrow. I'll first and foremost say that before I try to give you advice. My advice is Rasmus Dahlin. That is the guy that I'm most certainly putting in the lineup no matter what if I'm playing the Sabres. And from there, I don't know. Have your pick. Are you betting through the power play and you're betting Josh Norris? Makes sense. Are you going Doan Thompson? Sure. Are you even taking a look down the lineup at a guy like Zach Benson who just continues to get points? It feels like every single game. Couldn't call you a liar. I would just probably play Dahlin Thompson and what's his name? Josh Doan, personally.
Yeah, I mean, the Sabres third line is just absurdly cheap. 9,700. Benson has been just top tier. Like, he's been Jesper Bratt. Like, that's basically what Zach Benson is. And Bratt's in the 6Ks and Benson's 3,400.
I think you are on it. Like, really what I think we're both alluding to here is you need this to turn into a power play fest.
Interesting.
Like,
usually when you say a 9.7K line, you are not betting on it turning into a power play fest when Tage and Dahlin are on the team. But okay.
No,
we're on the same page.
I mean, if you're playing the Sabres, I feel like no, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna go lay down and go to bed.
All right, perfect.
Finally.
Yeah, Dahlin was a good take. I don't know. Norris revenge spot 48 or 4,900 still feels too cheap. I don't like. I guess the expected 7.7 versus the actual 10.8 is something that I would tend to look at and go like, yeah, that's not really sustainable. But then you watch him and I don't know, he just drips swagger and skill and just everything that the Sabres team needs and like actually does things positively on the ice, which the other skilled, talented players in Buffalo just never seem to do. And I will just say that if you're looking for a one-off, Jack Quinn, Kingmaker, Zach Benson, Ryan McLeod passing. I mean, just continue to go back to that well if you need a punt. 3,100 there for Jack Quinn. Ottawa, Kachuk, Stutzla, Zetterland, Perron, Cousins, Batherson, Giroux, Greg Amadio, Cousins, Halliday, McDermott. Defensively, Chabot, Spence was their second pair last game. Well, I guess since Chabot's returned, I think it's been 2 games now. Chabot and Spence has been their second pair, which is nice. Chabot then, I think a really good play, 4,200. His price was like 3.7, I think, last game. So it is going up, but I think he's about a 5K player if I had to put my finger on what his real price is as a DFS asset. I should have marked him on the power play and not Spence because that's the case. And yeah, he's been awesome since he came back. It's been 2 games, so take that for what it's worth. But long term, he's a really good player. He's 4,200. Yeah, I don't love the play because I'm not playing Claude Giroux with him or anything of the sort to power play stack it. But if you need a cheaper option than Sanderson on your Brady Stützle or whatever kind of stuff, I think you get away with that. And of course, Dylan Cousins, revenge bot, 4,800. So there's your dueling revenge Cousins Norris mini stack there.
It makes a lot of sense to me. Just play the Giga stack. Cousins coming off a 3-point night against Boston too, so heating up just in time to take on his old foes. Really doesn't get any easier than that. I do kind of like Ottawa.
It's interesting. Yeah. Ottawa has the best rainbow sheet matchup of the slate. Buffalo's been winning all their games, so they've been getting score effects, and this does account for score effects. So basically, Buffalo's running into really good goaltending right now, and Ottawa's just been solid. So
yeah,
there is some meat on that bone if you want to go to the Ottawa side.
Yeah, I think it's a trickier stack than it seems, but I probably just. I don't know. Any thoughts on a Brady Stützle Cousins? Patterson?
Honestly, I'm not leaving off the cheap pieces, I think, if I'm stacking this because Fabian Zetterlund, I think he's a dude. I like him. He's been good. So I'm not going out of my way to drop guys off who I just think are fine. If you play Cousins Batherson, maybe you add on Brady, but that's really expensive. So I don't know. Am I spending 19K on a power play 1 stack against the literal hottest team in the league? I don't know. I'm certainly not, but I get why you would. The goalies are bound to have a goalie game at some point, but the Sabres do. They look the same. They look all fucking year. They look fine. They look like a good team that knows where to go and knows how to pass. And now they're scoring and now they're stopping goals. And what do you know? They're the best team on planet Earth. And it's this is what a league average team looks like. Sometimes they're really good. Sometimes they're really bad. Actually, that's right. We did everything perfectly. I saw Yarmo's making everyone go into the office 5 days a week or 7 days a week or whatever the fuck it is. And, it's all fixed in Buffalo land. The culture was rotten. Corporate America has fixed it. Go Yarmo forever.
Thank you, Yarmo. Thank you, Supreme Yarmo. Okay. Anyways, we're finally almost halfway there. We get over to the New York Rangers and Washington Capitals. The Rangers, on the other hand, now that's a team that feels a little bit messed up right now. Any thoughts on this?
Really?
Are they
bad? Interesting.
I mean, them
JT
losing
Miller
to Nashville, looking pretty lifeless, felt bad.
Well, don't ask me. Ask Vincent Trocheck, who said, I think he said why'd you lose? And he said, we don't play with any fucking pride or something. So he was not happy.
Also, you know who I bet for shots too? I had 0. His name rhymes with Vince Trocheck.
Well,
so you know what would have helped in your 24 minutes and 15 seconds of ice time? I don't know. Maybe putting a singular shot on the fucking netminder. Okay. Anyways, back to reality here.
Panarin, Zibanejad, Lafreniere ended the game as a line and also ended the game on the top power play with Trocheck and Gavrikov. It was Morrow and Cooley. I think it was at least supposed to be, but that's not how it ended, of course. So there it is. JT Miller week to week, so he's gone out of the picture. We have Cooley, Trocheck, Radish as line 2, Oathman, Laba. I still haven't watched the Rangers game, I think, to know how to say that, which sounds weird, but maybe it's been on mute or something. Sherry, Radzinski, Carrick, Perot, and Rempe are both, I believe, ill. The DJ flu going around. DJ out here kissing too many dudes on the Rangers.
I didn't do that. You know I didn't.
Sorry, yeah, that's right. Adam Fox was not with the team when you saw him. So, I don't know. There's absolutely nothing here. They're going into Washington too. Like I literally last week was like, yeah, Washington's the best defensive team in the league, and John Leonard's like, hey, what if I just scored against you guys? And they're like, okay, over the weekend. And now it's like, yeah, I'm not taking this game and going, oh man, like the Rangers are sneaky. Like no, just like fuck this team. They're boring. They want to be boring, and their good players are priced up, and they're not even that good. So it's like, what's the point? There is no point. Let's move on. Washington.
Yep.
Protas, Strome, Wilson, McMichael, Sordiff, Ovi, Povillier, Dowd, Frank is how Dowd Frank. That's a the Dowd Frank. The fuck is that? That's some sort of law for economics people. All right. Anyway, they went to these lines on Sunday after their pretty embarrassing loss Saturday in Detroit. So I don't know if they stick with it. They lost in a shootout. No, they lost in overtime. But Protas, Strome, and Wilson is interesting, just conceptually.
You're thinking of
Tom
the
Wilson.
Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform
Dodd-Frank,
Protection Act.
Yep.
Dodd-Frank. And
Yes, that's right.
What you said sounded like something I definitely heard in college and probably paid very close attention to. I had to look it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tom Wilson, 5,800. I think he's better as a result of this because Protas and Strome are both pass first playmakers. McMichael, sort of Ovi. I don't see the vision here, in all honesty. So cool. And then Pavillia, Dowd, Frank, and yeah, whatever. It's weird. I don't know. I think Tom Wilson's the only guy up front that I like, and then Chikrin is always in play, but now he's properly priced at 6,700. So I'm not like over the moon interested in this relatively boring environment. So, DJ, thoughts on Washington?
I don't think I'm clicking the buttons here. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, if I was, it would be the top line. But leaving off Ovi just feels fraudulent for my entire brand and identity. But Chikrin, Strome, Wilson, I'd even throw in Protas because that's who I am. But I don't really think either of these teams really want to push to an extreme degree as far as like the offense is concerned, which is what's really most important for winning fantasy slates. So if they were, they wouldn't be, putting Justin Sordiff on the second line center, and they'd put like, I don't know, McMichael there and Ovi with like a good player. But I think I'm just going to sit this game out. Feels boring, smells boring, probably will be boring. So there's like 4 other games I'm more interested in that we haven't even talked about yet, let alone a few before this we have. I just don't really want to spend the time. Do you have anything you're going to the moon and back for here? Okay, cool. Yeah, we get over to Nashville and Minnesota. I'll start by saying Nashville really hasn't been that bad as of late. That I'm guessing isn't that surprising because they've looked. I feel like if you've watched them at all, they've looked competent, and they've won a couple, and they're just really not that bad. Which is sort of like I feel like if there's one thing Matt's very good at, it's being like, this team is not nearly as good as we thought they were last year. And then this year being like, well, there's no better than people think. And while it hasn't completely bore out in the standings, like it has as far as fantasy is concerned. So I'm not disinterested or super interested in Nashville. I just think that 7K Forsberg playing the way he is right now is of note.
Yeah, I mean, they're going into Minnesota, and everyone just saw what I don't know if everyone saw because the fucking NFL was on, but Colorado did go into Minnesota and just dismantle them limb by limb. But Minnesota has been playing some, really good hockey up until that point, and Colorado is from, a different planet than the rest of the NHL, but especially the Nashville Predators.
Someone I can't remember who it was
versus Aliens. I think the Aliens
someone
are winning.
called them. Someone said that Colorado's playing in the Champions League and everyone else is playing in the lower league. Or I can't remember who it was. It may have been Torts, or it was one of the those guys. I thought that was pretty funny. But
yeah.
But listen, yeah, Nashville. Yeah, you're right. Nashville has beaten the Blues. They lost to Avs. They beat the Blues. Lost Carolina. They beat Toronto, and they beat the Rangers. And if you didn't look at the standings before the year started, that would have sounded all right.
True.
In retrospect,
that is right. Yeah, but they do go to a fully correlated top line. Stamkos, O'Reilly, Forsberg. It is 16.2K. So gone are the days of 3,200 Steven Stamkos scoring 55. You're going to need to pay 4,700 for Stamkos's 55 pointer on this slate. Evangelista Howla Bunting with no Marchessault is their pretty concentrated second line. So the minutes should be there at least for these guys. Evangelista's 4K. Schaefer, McCarron, Smith, and Jost, Svechkov, Wood make up the bottom six. Believe it or not, Matt Wood is still not getting any ice time. No surprise, but it's less unforgivable now that the rest of the team has started to do things. So yeah, you mentioned Forsberg. He's been great. 14.9 expected fantasy points per game, 13.7 actual. That's second on the team. The Stamkos is up at 14 fantasy points per game last 10. Obviously, the 50 burger in there helps that average. Roman Josi, though, still not really back. 6,400 for his 9.4 and 8.6 actual is just not great. So TBD on if Roman Josi can turn it around fantasy wise for us. But yeah, the forwards are getting there.
Yeah, no, I'm again more interested in Nashville than I think you would have thought before we started the show. I like everything you said. Not really all that much more to add. Stamkos, Forsberg, you could just probably put those two on a two-man stack and move on. And on the other side, Minnesota, they've been great. They've been playing the big guns quite a bit. Those big guns are all mainly correlated, unless if they're going to change them. Did they run lines today in practice?
Are you
Or
talking Minnesota?
yeah, are we ready?
Yeah, no, they played a back-to-back over the weekend, so
Yeah,
no
they did.
practice. They
But
did
yeah,
this
so
in both games, though, so
yeah,
it worked
this
against McDavid, not against McKinnon.
yeah, Kaprizov, Hartman, Zuccarello, and Boldy, Erikssonek, and Johansson were the top six. I don't really think it's all that anything worth. I mean, like you're off and Tarasenko and Trennan. I mean, whatever. We talked about the revenge narrative, but you're off and Tarasenko have been something. But Tarasenko coming off the top power play with Zuccarello returning, it kind of takes that out back and puts it in the shed. So I don't know if there's one of these two lines that I'm way more interested in than the other. You would assume that the only useful line on Nashville, and we can mention that they have a couple lines that played all right, but that's going to draw the Eriksson line. So you would hope that the Kaprizov line gets freed up a bit more. I don't see anything wrong with even just playing Kaprizov Hughes. Or what are you thinking here?
Oh man, I'm thinking I don't really want these prices for Minnesota. If anything, I'm going just full top line stack. Kaprizov, Hartman, Zuccarello, and just hoping that the Howla Bunting Evangelista line is not very good. I don't know what else. Like, because Boldy, Eriksson, chasing, or I mean, they're not chasing around Ryan O'Reilly, but like Ryan O'Reilly's been like their one decent center. And they're pretty expensive, 17.2K for that line versus 17.4. And like, it's Ryan Hartman. Like, you sometimes get the donkey chucker 4.5, you sometimes get the donkey chucker 18.5. Like, it's all just sort of roll the dice with Hartman. He could get ejected too, and you get Danila Yurov on the top line for 3/4 of the game. Like, it's all in the range of outcomes here for Hartman. I think at these low prices, especially Kaprizov, 8,300 feels a bit low relative to his baseline. I would take a swing at that. We haven't seen it from Zuccarello, but we assume it's still there unless he's in the Steven Stamkos mold of cooked. So, and obviously we've seen what Stamkos has done over the last little stretch. So I think Zuccarello is rather similar in all honesty. And we just haven't seen any production from him. So that's what I would do. I'm not overly enthused by the idea. Speaking of that, Philly at Chicago, Konechny, Dvorak, Zegras, Barkey, Couturier, Tippett, Michkov, Cates, Brink. Owen Tippett has 10 shots on goal in this game as we record. So that is something that is good for him. I guess that means Denver Barkey is the world's greatest player. I think he had 3 primary assists in his first game. So that'll help the old expected fantasy points metrics. But Yeah, any interest in Philly in a back-to-back in Chicago, taking on a team without Frankie Nazar, without Connor Bedard?
I guess there's some level. I don't know. I mean, just trying to look over what Philly's been doing so far in this game, and it looks like take an absolute whooping to Vancouver, which I don't know. I guess that's not saying too much. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where I don't want to sit here and be like, the like none of these three lines are inherently wrong. I think I just always go to Kate's break beach off because I hate winning money.
That does make sense. There is one player with a negative rating in this game, and it is Bobby Brink on the ice for a goal, not on the ice for any of his goals for. So,
yeah,
that is funny.
It's sad. It's sad to be bad, but I look at that line and I just think that that's the line for me almost always. I could be convinced to look at the Barkey line, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna make it easy and just say, hey, don't play this game.
Yeah, you're also allowed to do that. I always forget that that's a rule.
You can chase Owen Tippett points. That is also a rule I have. Chasing Owen Tippett points is never a bad idea. He's 4,600.
Did you play Cutter Gauthier by chance?
Yeah.
I believe he scored with 30 seconds in.
Okay.
If
Cool.
that makes you feel any better. I have alerts for Cutter Gauthier. So I just want to let you know while you're talking.
Of course you do. Okay.
Some people know.
That is the most on brand thing I've heard on this show.
You don't. So every time he scores, you don't have an alert that goes off on your phone.
Believe it or not, I do respect my phone notifications. They would be going off too frequently.
Did they call it back? I don't understand. It said he scored. Now it's gone. What happened?
I don't know, DJ. Just fucking move on.
No, I can't.
We're not watching the Anaheim game. We're talking about a 12-game slate here on Tuesday.
We are.
Chicago, Bertuzzi, Ryan Donato, Andre Burakovsky. That's right. It took injuries to both Connor Bedard and Frankie Nazar for Ryan Donato to be the savior that we had long awaited for in best ball season. Could it be here? Could it be our time? Probably not. This line is 11.2K. Ryan Donato has not had a great season, though he's been with Jason Dickinson, who is basically David Kampf. So maybe there's some offensive upside here, but I don't know. We still have more Green, Lardis, Mikheyev, Dickinson, Foligno, Doc, Tony Nato, Teravainen. Teravainen didn't practice today, so keep an eye on him. Lardis was on both power play units because he's the GOAT, but that's presumably because Teravainen's on one of them. But I don't know where in the lineup Teravainen goes because Nick Foligno hasn't been playing, but he was on a power play as well. So it's like Teravainen would make the most sense where he has been with Mikheyev and Dickinson, but then who's playing the power play if it's not Nick Foligno? So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Colton Dock to the top power play, though, because Ryan Donato is good enough to be a top line center, but he's not better than Colton Dock. So, yeah, that's the life we live. I don't know. I'll probably play the turbo slate just to get some Ryan Donato exposure, but I can't possibly play this on a main slate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God. Two writers say Green was top line instead of Donato. That's interesting. Maybe I
listen to the media that wants to. The thing about the Ryan Donato of it all is, wasn't it like a lot of people were like, oh, the teams are interested in this guy, they want to sign him, and then Chicago's like, we'll give you like $4 million or something. Yeah, 4x4. And then they just play him. Like, what did he do?
I don't know, DJ. I couldn't tell you. Charlie, Ryan Green jumps to top line center. Ryan Donato between Moore and Lardis. I guess
Lardis.
There's disagreement between Charlie and Greg, so those two will need to figure it out amongst themselves. But in any case, neither one of those guys moves the needle for me.
Darn it.
Yeah, so
it's the worst game of the night, but we've done enough.
Okay, great. We've done enough. That's for damn sure. Utah into Colorado. Utah probably goes Keller, Schmaltz, Paterka, Krause, Hayton, Gunther, Daniil Boot, McBain, Carconi. Welcome back, Alexander Kerfoot. Revenge narrative, Kerfoot, Stenland, Liam O'Brien. It's Dylan Gunther's world. We're all just living in it. I don't know. Sean Dursey's been really good. He's 3,700. That's all I can recommend in this impossible matchup in Colorado. Like, good God, these guys are just monsters.
Also, I figured it out. Cutter did score, but they said Seattle gained possession of the puck on the delayed penalty. I don't see how. I don't see how that happened. Just in case I know everyone in the comments was like, "This is a Seattle watch party." Just Seattle, Jesus, Anaheim watch party. Anyways, though, so just wanted to make sure everyone knew. Yeah, if you know what, if I'm not playing Utah, if I was going to play Utah, I would just play Gunther and McKinnon on the other side and just make this a donkey fest. And that's the only way I'm playing this game.
Yeah, good call. McKinnon stuff with Gunther or Dursey. That's an interesting
That's
angle.
like the way to play this game in general. I will, yeah, while we're getting there, I would also play Landeskog.
Yeah, Landeskog moved to the top line with McKinnon and Nachos in Minnesota. He's
just
excellent.
been good.
12.2 expected fantasy points per game,
You know what? And
8.9
the worst part
actual.
is he only has 18 points in 35 games. And it feels like that means that we've kind of been proving correct by not drafting him a ton in best buck. I feel very bad about that now. He has certainly been every bit the part.
The fact that he's not sitting out games, like, because basically the argument was like, well, he's a worse version of Mark Stone, where you just can't trust the games and the injury and whatnot. And then Mark Stone's like, all right, guys, I'm out for a few weeks, and they're all like, see ya, Mark. Gabe Landeskog's like, hey, my knee's falling off, but I'm gonna play, and they're like, oh, okay, cool, go ahead. So it's good things. We love to see it from Landeskog, and yeah, he's been really good. So I think I've certainly buried the hatchet, like, when I'm not fading McKinnon like a fucking brain dead idiot. That's what I'm doing. I did want to pull up something that I mean, this is pretty outdated because McDavid continues to go supernova. But on my Friday newsletter, I looked into some season long stats and noted that Nate McKinnon averages, not including bonuses, which obviously McKinnon gets a lot of, and so does McDavid in all honesty. But anyway, 19.7 actual fantasy points per game. McDavid at 15.7. The difference between McKinnon and McDavid on the year was the same difference as between McDavid and Tim Stützle or Morgan Geekie. Like McKinnon has just been otherworldly, on a different planet. I just, he's among the best plays. Utah is having fun. I like your Donkey Fest Fiesta narrative.
Honestly, I hate that I like that so much because I really was like saying that almost like tongue in cheek, and then I'm like, damn, this actually kind of fucking rips. Like, I actually really like this build. Damn, I may end up with a 4-man stack of this game, and that's what I play tomorrow. Nate, stop shooting. Cutter is down to like almost 30 shots behind you now. Just chill out. Let him back in the mix.
Otherwise, Brock Nelson with Lekin and Nichushkin. It's less interesting when he doesn't have a power play mate with him, but he's also been good. Their power play actually looked competent against Minnesota, which is rare. And then Kel McCarr, good play. Don't play anyone else. That seems like pretty good advice. From me, Sam Malinsky, actually, you can play him. He's really good. Just wish he played more.
That is a player. Okay. Moving
Calgary,
on.
Edmonton.
Yikes. I don't think this one will take too long.
I don't know. It's freaking.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't want to play it because obviously, but like, I see how you could, in theory, get there. Now Kadri just continues to put up. You know what? Just take it away. I'm not going to say anything useful here because these guys all suck.
it's very simple. If you're playing the Calgary Flames, you're probably clicking on one of the two defensemen. They seem to really in tandem, and sometimes it can be a bit of a yo-yo of which one of them is going to double bonus and have 3 points. But when they're getting there, these defensemen are ultra involved. Weir throws up the 30 bomb out against Vegas. Rasmus Anderson throws up the 24 bomb against Seattle. On the same token, you don't have to play the Calgary Flames on a 12-game slate when the goal is to get as many fantasy points as possible. It's probably a bad idea to continue to ride defensemen that with kind of unrealistic fantasy production. So I'm probably sitting this one out. Edmonton is exploitable down the lineup, but that down the lineup doesn't see much run when they're trailing. So yeah, I'm not playing the Flames.
Smart. I don't blame you. Okay. Did I read the lines? I think they're all the same. So
Yeah.
Sharon Govich, Kadri Farabee, Zari, Backlund, Coleman, Huberto, Frost, Coronado. This Hunter Brustovich guy is in the lineup. Wasn't very good in the AHL as a 19-year-old, but he has some prospect pedigree. So 2,500 with some power play time, presumably. Keep an eye on him. Just make sure he plays. Edmonton, same lines. RNH, McDavid, Hyman, Roslovic is back. So Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Roslovic. That moves Savoy down to Majapani, Henrique. Tristan Jarry's hurt, so it's Connor Ingram and Jesus Christ, Kelvin Pickard.
Yep.
That is tough, but
he is
what can you do?
8,400. In case you were hoping that he might be, for whatever reason, cheap. I don't know.
Yeah. McDavid's been fucking awesome. He's putting everything on his shoulders. He heard what I wrote about him, and he's like, well, I don't want that to be the case. And he's like, let me catch this fucker. So yeah, it's a fun arms race here at the top of the Art Ross rankings, as it is for most years, honestly. But McDavid is really in the midst of an incredible run right now. So I am going to be hard pressed to not play Connor McDavid. What will be frustrating is knowing whether or not to play Zach Hyman, Evan Bouchard, whether if I pick both of those guys, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is going to go crazy again. If I go RNH, obviously Hyman and Bouchard are going to score. That's really the question. Or do you just one off McDavid and just hope that they all spread it out? Because McDavid's been incredible. Our best ball bags are so back, as GA says. It's all just looking up.
Yep, nothing's ever been wrong, actually, ever. So I agree. McDavid just got to catch 7 goals on McKinnon, and we're fine. Don't really see how you play this Edmonton side without him. It's just how do you play it with him if you're going to play it? Totally agree. I don't think there's a wrong answer to that. It seems to again change every single night, but McDavid is the engine, the driver, the whole thing, and Draisaitl's normally right along with it. It's just super expensive to play both, so pick and choose. Draisaitl has been shooting a lot more though, so I really don't have a problem with playing both of them and just going all the way in. Like we mentioned, people will not overstack on these small slates and probably pick or choose. But if you go 4-man Edmonton, it is affordable. I say why not?
Yeah, the PDO cast did their mid-year All-Stars the other day, and I was listening to it, and they had some really good stats about Draisaitl, and obviously he's been really good for fantasy too. But you look at his on-ice impacts, and for the second straight year, he's doing things better without McDavid than McDavid is without Draisaitl. And obviously McDavid's now turned that around with RNH and Hyman. But again, Draisaitl's been doing this basically all year with Vesely Podkolzin, who I think we like Vesely Podkolzin, but I don't think we're fooling anyone by saying, it's Podkolzin. The ship on my Draisaitl hate was so far out the window last year, and this year it sort of just simmered. But it's very much so. I think you actually might be right, especially now that Bouchard 7K, Hyman 64, maybe you can find 2,000, but it might just be better to play McDavid with Draisaitl and hope that you get every piece of the Edmonton offense rather than trying to nail it perfectly. If Hyman gets the 32 bomb or whatever, McDavid and Draisaitl are still having good games in that case more times than not. So um, I do like that angle as well. But yeah, it's just frustrating because I know McDavid's my favorite play of the night. Seattle on a back-to-back here. Kako, Beniers, Eberle, Gaudreau, Stevenson, Tolvanen, Newman, Wright, Winterton. I I guess Vince Dunn
Yep.
at 5K, but like this LA team's not a team I want to play dudes against. So I think I'm out. Any interest from you in any of these guys?
No. No, you
Smart.
know what? I really don't. I am not playing Seattle on a back-to-back against LA. And I think that's brave of me. I mean, there's punts here. Both teams will be on a back-to-back. LA will probably be supporting a goalie that is Phoenix Copley. Still don't really think that moves the needle all
Yeah,
that much.
they use Forsberg at both ends of the back to back on Saturday or Friday, whichever one it was, Friday. So keep an eye on that because it's not a guarantee, and obviously they have a long break after this. What 3 days at least, so they could go Forsberg at both ends, especially if they don't think Kemper's out long term. So that's the only thing I'll say there. Otherwise, yeah, they're not a very exciting
No,
team.
no
You can
Montour, no
consult,
McCann.
yeah,
Vince Dunn has somehow shot less since that started.
and
I
played
don't really get
less.
it.
It's not even a
And
shoot.
played less.
He played 20 minutes in each of those two games. Like, why? I don't know.
They're just
Okay.
this doesn't leave a lot to be desired. So yeah, let's move over to the Los Angeles Kings. Equally not going crazy for here, but I do feel like Fiala below 6K is something.
Yeah, Fiala playing with Byfield and LaFerriere. So LaFerriere back on his wing is nice. Kempe, Kopitar, Trevor Moore is their top line. Fogel, Turcotte, Kuzmenko is the third line, and then Armia, Hellenius, Perry. Um, I I think that the LaFerriere Fiala duo is my favorite, given it's like the same price as Moore and Kempe. I'm a little tilted right now because I thought I made the swap to LaFerriere over Moore, and I moved Chandler Stevenson down to Turcotte because like who the fuck cares? It's Chandler Stevenson. But it didn't take, so now I'm just waiting for Alex LaFerriere to bury me on this late slate. But yeah, I like LaFerriere all the time, so
Yep.
no surprise from your boy here.
Yep. Maybe someday Byfield will get there for me. It's
Never.
not today.
No. That line, by the way, 13.8K, which like if you told DJ's best puck exposures that this line would be that price in a home matchup against a Seattle team without their best defenseman.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing. All right.
San Jose, last game.
Yep. Donkey it up.
In Las Vegas. So Chernyshov, Celebrini, Colin Graff, Eklund, Wenberg, Toffoli, Skinner, Delandria, Ethan Cardwell. Liljegren is hurt, so that's if you care about that. Not Nicky Letty, it's Nick Letty. There we go. Yeah, everyone who's not Macklin Celebrini is bad. Chernyshov has been very good, 3,200, playing a lot. Power play 2 role, but just like very much looking like an NHLer. We talked about him last week. I think I wrote him up. Was he on that slate? I don't know. In any case, looks pretty good. He's definitely a guy I mentioned in the Discord. If not, Colin Graff left practice today. He took a puck to the face and got stitches. Coach seemed to think he would be okay, so not like a worry he'll miss this game, but keep an eye on it. Swelling or concussion or something could pop up overnight. So always be vigilant. Just wanted to highlight that especially. And then the second line is fully power play correlated. Eklund, Wenberg, Toffoli. Though in this matchup, I doubt the field's going to go super chalky on that, but we've seen it before, like last week. So I don't know. I'm guessing not, though. Any thoughts on San Jose from you?
William Eklund has 14 shots on goal in the past 2 games. And that's a guy that I like to keep an eye on. I guess my point in saying that is you don't really need to play Macklin without him. I mean, I still like those cheaper pieces as well, but if you're playing Macklin, that is fine. This is not the same Vegas team that they're very
Yeah.
much not at full health. But I don't
This
plan on
ain't your
playing
father's
San
Vegas
Jose.
Golden Knights.
But
What's that?
nevertheless, like I think,
Yeah.
wait, what?
No, you're good.
No, we can move over to them.
Vegas, Barbashev, Marner, Stone. That's right, Mitch Marner playing center. Dorofeyev, Hurdle, Sod, Riley Smith, Brett Howden, Braden Bowman, Reinhart, Stizens, Kolasar. No Eichel, no Shea Theodore. They're both week to week. So, bummer, but it is what it is. Mitch Marner's been pretty good lately. I don't know about him playing center, though. So, keep an eye on that. Full lines, 15.9K. Dorofeyev and Hurdle full line with Brandon Saad is 14.3K. Um, Hurdle's been good. Dorofeyev finally scored last game. Like it felt like it's been forever since he scored like the prototypical just like goal on a silver platter. And he picked up one of those, so that was nice to see. And Noah Hannafin still top power play at just 4,500. I think will be among the most popular plays of the night.
Yeah.
So if that interests you, have at it. He's been pretty good this season. He's not been excellent, but he's been pretty good, just without much of an offensive role. So now that the role is materialized, maybe see if he can take it and run with it because he's shooting. So yeah, that's about all I can say though. He's been shooting. So what say you?
I mean, yeah, this Vegas side feels intriguing. I think it will be popular. There's two options. I think Dorofeyev, Hurdle, and Hannafin will be a very easy to click stack because Dorofeyev is a rates guy. He finally hit a shots bonus and scored, like you mentioned, and Hurdle has, two straight shot bonuses. I just don't think that kind of stuff will get overlooked since Eichel's been out. They've just been very, very involved. They were already good, but just gotten a little bit better with a little bit more, offensive role. So I do think it'll be a popular stack on a 12-game slate. How popular we'll find out, but San Jose is not a team anyone's afraid to stack against. I think the Stone Marner will be less owned. Just feels like less of a ceiling, although we know that Stone has, you know, he certainly has it in him when it comes down to it. So I could go either way here. Definitely like the stacks a lot, but I mean, do you have any feeling on if ownership's
Yeah, I
going to
mean,
pile on?
the thing to look out for though is a lot of people will play Mark Stone with Hurdle Adorofeyev, just replace Brandon Saad basically. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but like I don't think you're going to get Marner and Stone at super low ownerships. So you're kind of betting on them doing it at 5 on 5. So if you are playing Marner and Stone, I would consider Ivan Barbashev. If you're not playing at least one of Dorofeyev, Hurdle, or Hannafin, just because of that. Like, it's going to be so owned that if Stone and Marner do get there in a big way, odds are Hurdle and Dorofeyev or Hannafin's also getting there. So if you're not doing that, then maybe playing Barbashev is the way to sort of, keep those guys at bay. Um, so it's just a thought, but yeah, it's not my favorite, not my favorite spot in all honesty. This team is weird without Jack Eichel. Like I don't know. Like they're just obviously they're not as fun. They're not as good. Like yeah, Hurdle's been good. He's got 50 DraftKings points in 2 games. They lost to Calgary. They lost to Edmonton. Like like they're not playing well. They're just getting some offense or power play or whatever. Like it is what it is. So all right, that'll do it. Let's do top stacks, guarantee goals, and get on out of here. Do you have anything in mind for top stacks?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of debating between a couple, and I really think that when the cards turn over, I'm just gonna have that Colorado Utah game stack. So I'm gonna say McKinnon, Landeskog, Gunther, which is not exactly a stack, but to me it is.
Okay. Um, I will do Ehlers, Aho, and Blake.
I like that. Oh,
Yeah.
hold on.
Do I? I kind of like Carolina too, between Svechnikov, Stahl, Stankoven, and that's certainly going to be lower round. So
When is Carolina going to bury me? Tomorrow when that plays them.
tomorrow's the day, DJ. I swear.
Tomorrow is the day. He did swear by it. This is tough. I don't want to be a complete donkey, but I can't play anything too expensive because what I want to play is Vegas. I don't think it even fits, but gun to head, that's what I want to play.
Buffalo.
Don't do it. Don't.
Buffalo.
Oh god, yeah, it's not even close to fitting.
No, Vegas is expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking Buffalo 3.
That's what I'm thinking. If you're trying to find a cheap line, I like Quinn McLeod Benson.
All right, you're up. Sign me up. Buffalo 3.
Objectively good play. Wow.
He's talked me into it instead of playing a 3-man stack that's not even remotely close to fitting. That's going to be super chalky. I'll put something in that actually does work.
All right. Let's build around Chikrin and Tom Wilson. Because I like those two guys. I don't really like the McMichael Ovi line. So let's say we get a little bit crazy and we play Protoss with it. The no power play Protoss, but he's with Dylan Strome. So Protoss, Tom Wilson, Jake Chikrin, second top stack against a Rangers team that is on the ropes right now. And it doesn't seem like they're kicking out, thrashing like a dead animal. They're just sort of rolling over and taking it.
Okay.
I mean, that's just what Vinny Trocheck has to say about
That's what
situation.
he said. That's what he said about it. He basically said exactly that. All right. Time to guarantee goals. And then I will go and rest my weary head. Do you have any to start, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, do I have any to start? I'm going to go with... Yes, I do. I'm going to go Kirill Kaprizov, 8,300.
Wow. Where does he get his ideas? I like McDavid tomorrow. I like Kaprizov. He's a genius, folks. This is watching Picasso in his prime.
How did the most recent guarantee goals do, DJ? Did you have that idea. Up for us?
I deleted them already off my phone and while we were doing this.
I'm pretty sure I hit both of them and you didn't. So
that's okay, well that's just very, very cool of you. I will go. Yeah, I'll go Cole Caulfield.
Okay, I have 2,700 left. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the show and go Mr. John Leonard in the Patrick Kane spot. Guaranteed goal, power play 2 against Dallas. Yep. John Leonard, Kirill Kaprizov.
Okay, the better Leonard brother, as I call him.
Oof.
Well, Ryan isn't going to do shit tomorrow, so what are you going to do
about
it? 4,100. I could play Ryan Leonard if he was in, but he is not. I could play Hartman if you hadn't already taken a player from that team. I'll leave it up to you. There's 3 players here that are just perfect for me. There's Michkov, there's Tolvanen, there's Josh Doan. Josh Doan feels a little bit weird with the stacks. So,
I mean, it's hard to be more bullish right now on Michkov than in less than an hour after he scores an empty net goal. Like, on what planet do we live? Like, yes, I understand it was 4-1. I don't know why Vancouver pulled their goalie, but Michkov was out on the ice with an empty net. So right, I got to say, bullish Michkov.
Perfect. Kaprizov, Leonard, Caulfield, Michkov. Sounds like goals to me.
Great. Okay. That'll do it. We have not discussed Saturday at all, but that is when the NHL returns from this holiday break. I will be traveling. What'd you say?
I have no idea actually right now. I would say I have less of an idea than I had before.
Yeah. So I will try to do something on Saturday, whether it's with DJ, whether it's on the newsletter or something, because I'll be back Friday. Back here in this layer on Friday. So I'll be able to do something for the Saturday slate. What form that takes, I am not sure. But the best way to know about it is to join the Morningscape Podcast Discord. If you are somehow not in it by now, please just join so I can stop explaining that you should be in it. DM me at Fake Moods, or I think it's hashtag Moods13 on Discord if you just want to stay on Discord or whatever. That's easy, or you can follow me again at Fake Moods. Follow DJ at DJ_Mitcher94 if you like betting stuff. He posts that virtually every day. And anything else from you, DJ?
Just sleep.
Okay. Yes. We hope you all have a nice night of sleep. We hope you all have a wonderful Christmas or holidays, whatever you're celebrating. And thank you for listening to the Morningscape Podcast. From Doug, from DJ, from myself, have a good Tuesday slate, everybody, and we will see you.
You're sitting there looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.